Hello everyone, Don here with a new video on a new project. Not quite an update on the Corsair, but as many of you, my followers that is, know, in order to make the canopy for my Corsair, I'm going to need to heat up some plexiglass to vacuum form it onto the mold back there. So what I'm building here is an oven. Now this oven was originally just going to be something chintzy, just big enough to heat up a piece of 2x4 plexiglass. But then I had some other projects I needed a little longer one, closer to 5 feet. So I watched some videos on YouTube and saw some guys building ovens, and I was wondering what to use that could take the heat that I could, was cheap enough to throw away when I was done. And then after watching some videos on YouTube, I noticed that people were using these steel 2x4s that you can buy at the box stores, Lowe's, Home Depot, like 1 5/8 by 3 3/4, I believe. And they're cheap. These were 10-footers from Home Depot. They were about $7 a piece. I think I had to buy 9 of them to build the frame. And basically the frame of this whole cabinet looks pretty much just like this. You got one long piece, the sides, just 4 pieces to make the whole frame. And then all I did was stick one rivet on each side, front and back, so the whole frame is pretty wobbly. And then I found a local HVAC shop that sells 26 gauge galvanized steel. They had it in 3x8, 4x8, and 4x10 sheets. So this is actually the door. So this door is 5 foot tall. I left this open. This skin is already partially attached with rivets. This riveted down through the side, you can see, and I still have to go across the face. That will be the outside of the door. The sheet, this 4x10 sheet was perfect because I just cut it straight in half at 5 foot, and it gives you 2 4x5 foot sheets. And all I did was bend 4 inches on here, and 8 foot completely wraps around, because this is 44 inches, and then 4 inches here is 4 foot. So I was able to just use a aluminum siding brake to bend that 4 inch on there. It just bends just as easy as aluminum because it's fairly thin stuff. So it goes around there. And then the second sheet is here. That'll wrap around from the bottom edge and come up. This is basically the bottom, and that'll be the top. And then I have a 6 foot piano hinge. So I'll cut that down to 5 foot, and that'll get attached to the skin, and it'll get attached to the side of the cabinet down this right side. Now right now this cabinet is laying on its back. This is the bottom. As you can see, I just put some caster wheels on it from Harbor Freight. They were like $4, $5 a piece. $4 I think. And then this sheet here is the inside sheet for the floor. And as you can notice, I got 2 holes drilled here on each side. That's where the heating elements are going to come down through. Now, I had to go get some more insulation, but this is all rock wool insulation. So the sides are just like the front door. You got 2 long pieces and a cross piece to make up 2 individual sides. And then on the top, all I did was take a piece of 2x4 and run it across the front, trim it, fit it around the corners, pop rivet it in place, both sides. That's all there is for the frame. You got a piece back there, a piece here, and a piece in the back, and there's nothing in the front. What I got here is a piece of angle, a little piece of metal angle, as well as pieces of metal angle here and here, because this still is this is the outside of the top. These 2 wires up here go around, come out on the sides, one on each side and one over here. And those are for the lights, regular oven lights. But I still have to insulate this, and then I have another sheet right there that will come in here, wrap around, tuck underneath the top, wraps around here, goes down and in, and it'll get pop riveted along there, and it'll get pop riveted to that little angle on each side after this is insulation. So that's the next thing to go in. I just wanted to leave it out to show you on this video. Because the sheets I bought are only 4 foot high, they do make 5 foot, but they didn't carry the 5 foot. Because the inside dimension is 5 foot from that seam there to that seam there. After you get the 4 inches of insulation in the top, I'm at 4'8". So, but 4 foot These are 30 inches inside diameter, top to bottom, 36 across, 30 up, which is exactly 96 inches, so a full 4-foot sheet, which is right there, with 2 bends in it. So that thing just drops down in there. And here you can see one of the lights. They're ceramic lights, housings, and you can get these at Lowe's and Home Depot as well. So I got 2. This one's a little different. This one actually came with that Aqua Blast cabinet that I didn't use. It was the original light for it. So I used that one, bought another one. So those 2 wires hook to that, and all the wires loop up around the top, come out right here. And here's the 4 heating wire elements and the thermocouple. The thermocouple, you can see it kind of pokes out right there. There's the thermocouple. And then the heating elements run all the way down the side and down around the bottom and come out right there. There's the 2 wires there and the 2 wires here. So these will get some of this tape. What I got here is fiberglass header wrap tape. You buy it in 50-foot rolls. And that's 2 inches wide, just fiberglass cloth for header wraps. You can get it in multiple colors. And so what I did here, as you can see, I lined everything inside the cabinet. And the purpose behind this is, I've never seen anybody do it in their videos. They always just pop rivet the sheet metal right to the frame. The only problem is the inside of this cabinet, this sheet metal, all this sheet metal in here is going to get hot. And if you have it attached directly to the metal frame, it's just going to heat soak through that frame and start heating up the frame and heating up the outside of the cabinet, which lowers the efficiency of your cabinet and wastes heat. So what I'm trying to do is insulate the inner steel from the frame to minimize heat loss, heat soak through the frame. So this frame should stay a lot cooler and the cabinet should heat up quicker because it's not wicking away the heat the whole time. So I've never seen anybody do this. So because this sheet comes up and tucks under here, I had to isolate this whole sheet from this piece here. Otherwise it'll transfer heat. You're still going to get a little heat transfer through any place the pop rivets are, but these are basically every 6 inches. So that's where I'm at. There's the bottom side. That side's all ready. I have to put in that bottom panel first, stuff the wires up through, and I'm going to take some of this tape and make a little roll, little short pieces about 4 inches long, staple it along the edges. So when I poke them wires up through the bottom skin, I'll slip that insulation over there, plug it into the elements, tuck them down in, and that'll help insulate the bottom of the heating elements, which by chance I have right here. Just came today, not an hour ago. What these are is oven broiler elements. I bought 2 of them, 1 on each side. These things are 4,000 watts, 240 volts. Like I said, they'll just go right through there. Then I'll drill a couple holes in it, pop rivet them, and I'll put some insulation around these because even though these don't get glow red, it starts glowing here, but it's going to heat soak all the way back into here. So I'm going to wrap these to help protect them from the insulation so it's not going to, hopefully not catch on fire. But what I bought is this rock wool insulation. Got this from Lowe's. This stuff's about $50 a bag, and I had to buy 2 bags of it to finish it. So the door is going to get a 13 by 20 inch window in it. I'm probably going to be 20 inches wide, 13 inches high, somewhere closer towards the top so I can see it. So I bought some of this little J channel also from Lowe's or Home Depot. It's in the drywall section. I'm going to use that to make a frame to hold the glass, and then it'll be pop riveted into here. Those extra pieces of 2x4 framing, I'll put 2 pieces in here, 13 inches of spacing, the inside spacing, and then 2 pieces vertical to give me a 13 by 20 inch window for that glass to set in. So I got to cut those up today, get them pop riveted in place, and the windows will actually go on the outsides of each skin. The outside door, the very outside, I'll get a piece of glass cut, put regular glass out there, but the inside window is a actual oven window I bought on eBay. So that should be here maybe by Saturday. It's supposed to come in FedEx. But meanwhile, I can go, I already know the size, so I can frame that in. Once it's framed in, cut out the openings with a cutoff wheel, and then I'll pop rivet the frame in after I insulate it. So that's what the extra bag insulation is for, is just to finish that door and to finish the top of here. So that's where I'm at now. And then the last thing, when the door is hinged on here, closes, I'm going to need a seal. So thinking ahead, you should always think ahead, I'm going to take this gasket material and roll it up, make probably use like maybe 2 pieces of it, but it's going to literally tuck under here, and I'm going to try and make it proud so it stands high enough so when the door closes it squeezes it, and then I'll pop rivet right down through the sheet metal, so this will tie this all together. So right now it's a little loose. Cabinet's fairly heavy. It's not real heavy, it's fairly lightweight. The whole thing probably maybe weigh 100 pounds or so when it's done. It's not real heavy, but like I said, it's laying down. I'll stand it up. All right, so that's going to do it for now. I'm going to go ahead and tuck the insulation in there, get the skin roof put on, get the bottom skin put on, get that skin put in, wire up the lights, get the thermocouple. Actually, forgot, there's a hole right there for the thermocouple to go through, and I got to find a nut to fit that thing because it's probably metric, but it's probably a metric thread. So just put a little nut on there to hold that. So, and that should do her. To hold this fiberglass on, I used this basting tape. I mentioned it in my videos on sewing. When you're sewing up fabric, it's a double-sided tape that I bought from a company called Sailrite out of Indiana, I believe. They do boat supplies and upholstery supplies. Great place to buy stuff from. So, and then I've got actually got my PID controller here. Everything's pre-wired. Got a master switch. When this turns on, it gives you it lights up. Again, it'll be 220 volts into that, and then this is the solid-state relay that's good for 40 amps. It's 200 volt, 380 volt AC, but it's good for 40 amps. So I can run both these elements. They should pull about 16 amps a piece for a total of 32 to 35 amps. That's good for 40. And I have a heat sink to mount on this, so I have to make the box. The box will be mounted here, and I'll have a switch on there, and it'll be a separate switch for the lights. So these red lights and the little black wire, red wire, black wires are for just the 2 lights. Thermocouple, heating elements. All right, that's going to do it for now. I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, get this thing finished assembled, standing upright, and then I'll be back and show you when I'm done. I may or may not get to the door today. The weather this week has been crazy. Sunday, Monday was 60, 65, then it dropped right back down into the 30s, and then it's been up and down all week. It hasn't been, today was supposed to be mid-50s, and it might be about 50 now, and it's already going on 3 o'clock. All right, let me get back to work, and I'll see you guys soon. Okay, everybody, back now with the finished product, I guess you could say. You can see I got all the inside sheet metal done. Everything's pop riveted into place. There's the 2 lights, one on each side. Down in the bottom, wires coming up through for the elements. Everything's riveted all the way around. All I have left to do is on this bottom edge, I'm going to run a few pop rivets down through this back edge, actually through this front edge, to tie this in. And then the gasket seal I'll make will come all the way up around, tuck in under all this, up around and so forth. Here you can see I got the thermocouple in. It was just turned out to be a 1/4 20 bolt thread, so there's a thermocouple step. And I got the heating elements. Just got to clean off some of the dirt because when I brought this stuff home it was raining. But that's basically the design of it. Next thing will be to get the 2 elements mounted, attached, and make up some gaskets out of that material I have for the seals, finish the door, get that framed in, get the windows put in there. I've got glass coming, should be here, they're saying Saturday. So then it's just a matter of buttoning down that bottom ledge. I'll need to run a few pop rivets across here, finish that up, tie it in, because that's, as you can see, bumps out. It's the same depth as the door. And then I have to bend me up a sheet metal box to get the controls in there and run a 220 cable to at a 40 amp service, 50 amp service. And we should be able to test. I had this all originally hooked up just with some 110 wires just to test the controller and the lights, and they all work good. So I need to pick up a light switch for the lights, but the rest of it I already have. So that's going to be it for this one update. I'll go ahead and put this together and try to get her installed tonight. You can see I got it on the wheels, so it rolls real nice and easy. Back of the cabinet, so it's pretty nice. It probably weighs over 100 pounds, but it moves around real nice and easy. So, all right, it's going to probably be it for today. The next couple days is going to be pretty cold again, only in the 30s, so I'm not sure how much I'm going to get done with this. I'm trying to push it back into place for you. But I got to cut up the frame pieces to finish the door, cut it out for the windows, get the glass, go to Lowe's and have them cut me a piece of glass to put on the outside of the door. The oven glass will go on the inside of the door. The hinge is going to go down this right side, so the door will open from this way out. I do have a couple of latches I bought to latch this. They're just some window latches. We got them here. Here's the light bulbs. They're regular oven appliance light bulbs. So we got those two bulbs. And somewhere in here there's a heat sink I'm going to use on the SSR, solid state relay. Trying to find my door latches. There they are. Got a pair of these things. There's two of them in there. So I'll put one a little high, one a little low, and see how that works out. Oh, also, I got some fire block caulking. Even though there are gasket seals, you know, everything that this sheet metal on the inside touches is insulated from the cabinet. There's no metal to metal contact from the inside to the outside. Even here, this is all insulated from here. And there's insulation all around everything. But I'm going to take this high temp sealant and I'm going to caulk all these seams all the way around the base. And probably this, I don't really need to seal that, but I could probably put a little around the holes when I set the things in, and they'll get pop riveted in. I may run this around here just to get this seam and the seam up here in the corner. The seals for the door I'm actually planning on getting underneath this lip, and this will be finished riveted in place. So none of this is riveted yet because I plan on tucking the seal under everything to go all the way around. So, alright folks, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to leave any comments, questions, or concerns. Again, like I said, this is first going to be used to make the canopy, the plexiglass mold. And then I've got a couple things on a car that I want to heat up and work, dash pad stuff. And then after it's all finished and done with that work, it's going to be my powder coating machine. So when I get to work on my CNC, after the plane's done, there'll be some powder coating of some heavy metal steel, heavy steel and that, and anything else. There's might be a few more things left on the airplane to powder coat when I'm ready. So, alright folks, that's going to do it for now. As always, leave any comment, questions, concerns, and I'll get to them as quickly as I can. And as always, I appreciate you guys taking your time to watch my videos. So for now, this is Dino Don out.